Alright, what's up guys? So I want to talk about Minecraft Dungeons. So I've been playing a lot of Minecraft Dungeons recently, and within a couple days I already beat the entire game. Like I'm finished the boss on Apocalypse mode. I'll put it up on screen now. You can see like my achievement for proof. But I don't know. I haven't been enjoying this game so much, and I decided that since Minecraft Dungeons is not a fairly easy game, you gotta there's a little bit of a learning curve. So I wanted to give out some tips to help you guys with the Apocalypse levels. So I guess let's just get into it. All right. So I wanted to start off by talking about the environment. The environment is huge, like a huge key to your success. You can use the environment in a lot of ways. The main way I use it is I use it to either like block arrows from hitting me while I'm in the middle of a fight, or I'll use it to basically just bully enemies across walls. So like if I have like a longer range weapon, like a glaive for example, I'll try to like hit them over a like a pillar or something just to keep myself safe while they're in the danger zone. All right, so now I want to talk about blacksmith. The blacksmith is huge, dude. The blacksmith, well, I've used the blacksmith a lot to try to get unique weapons because if you don't know, he can give you unique weapons. So almost every single gem I go, or every single emerald I get goes into him. I'm just constantly trying to get unique weapons from the blacksmith because I don't know if you guys have ever used a unique weapon if you're watching this, but dude, they're insane. They're so strong. And if you don't know what a unique weapon is, it's basically just a weapon with an enchantment built into it. And normally they tend to have like higher damage than most other weapons. So I tend to just use the blacksmith all the time because he is like I think the number one key to getting good gear consistently. Every time you are looking for new gear, you want to you definitely want to try to go for the blacksmith. Blacksmith is always my first option, and then I'll go through missions and stuff, just try to get any bonus stuff. But blacksmith is insanely strong for getting you the weapons you want. So another thing that helped me quite a bit in this game was kind of figuring out what enchantments go with what weapons. So when you get like a faster attacking weapon, if you can get anything that's like chance based, like radiant or critical hits and stuff, those will be really really strong in the faster weapons, just because they have so many, like they attack so fast, they get so many chances to proc that attack. But at the same time though, if you're using like a slower weapon, like let's say for example, like a claymore or like a soul knife, there's no point in using those because you get like it's so hard to get it to proc. It's just you just really have to rely on that little bit of chance that you have. But you also you can utilize a whole lot different enchantments than faster attacking weapons. Like Echo is really good on those slower attacking weapons because they'll just let you attack faster. It'll basically just improve your damage per second. Uh, so you really just have to know what your weapon is good at and what your weapon really needs to be able to succeed and destroy waves of enemies. So the next thing I want to talk about is the strength of being patient. Being patient can be so strong whenever you need it, really. If you are struggling with any mission, or if you're just underleveled for any mission, I think it's really, really strong just staying back and healing, waiting for all your items to come back, and just you just gotta keep on trucking. But to keep trucking, you gotta recuperate after every single fight or every single room you have to go through. So next, I want to talk about how important artifacts are. Artifacts can be like the life or death for your game. I've actually found this like set of artifacts that I normally use that really really works for me, which is just the general, I guess categories that they're in, which is I always have one item that can just get me out of a situation. Currently, I'm using shock powder, which will just stun all the enemies around me. So if I stun all the enemies around me, I can just get out of any sticky situation, like being swarmed or getting attacked by big dudes. And then I always liked running an offense item. So like maybe a death capture room, I think is what it's called. Like just the mushroom item. Or I don't really know what else. I like running an offensive item just for boss fights and killing bigger dudes that you're having trouble with. And then I always like running a defensive item. So maybe like a healing totem or just something that can help you recuperate. Like I like also using the totem of shielding. That's been a huge help to me. So now I want to talk a little bit about multiplayer. I have 5 tips for multiplayer that have actually been helping me quite a bit whenever I play multiplayer. So I think the first thing I always like to do is synergizing with teammates. Synergy is always a great thing in any team game. Any team or any game where you have multiple people on your team, you always want to synergize with each other. So synergizing basically just means making your weapons and builds go together really nicely. Maybe you could have like somebody constantly sucking people in with gravity, or like some kind of gravity ability, while you just have like a huge amount of slash damage with like an explosive crossbow, or just honestly just daggers or glaive or whatever has like wide swings. And normally those can help you clear through just waves and waves and rooms of enemies really easily. I've had a lot of success with it whenever I've been playing with my teammates, and it's been probably the biggest thing that has helped me and my teammates go forward. So this one's going to be kind of like a double whammy, I guess. Um, I want to talk about reviving and switching up your artifacts, like for the team. So reviving is super important in this game because not reviving somebody can be like really dangerous if you're not careful. So basically, whenever someone is down on the ground, enemies will like more and more enemies will constantly spawn in, and after I think 30 seconds, a night or like night will start, which basically just means that you're gonna constantly start taking damage until everybody's up and like off the ground. So for reviving, I would recommend like switching up your artifacts so it's easier to revive. At least have like one artifact that makes it way easier to revive, like a totem of shielding or maybe like shock powder or something, because those can really elevate your gameplay and save you in a lot of scenarios. So the next thing I want to talk about is what seems really obvious, but it's actually kind of uncommon to see, which is stay together. Staying together is really crucial whenever you're playing with a team because all the enemies are going to have more health and there's just going to be more enemies. So staying in one group or like kind of acting as like one unit will it will increase your damage, which will kind of negate that extra health that they have, and it'll make you able to kill more enemies faster, which will kind of negate the fact that there's more enemies. But whenever you don't stay together, it basically just makes everybody way more vulnerable because enemies have more health and there's just way more enemies. And splitting up from the group can like just destroy the group because if one person goes down far away from the group, then it could be really hard to revive them and then cause everybody else to die trying to just save one guy who left the group. So please just stay in a group or like kind of act as a unit, and you will be so much stronger. I promise you. All right. So my last tip to tell you guys is make sure everybody's accounted for. If somebody has the best like bow on your team, or like if somebody is mainly using their bow and you don't use your bow at all, make sure they can take your arrows out of the supply box. You're not going to use them anyway. There's no point in taking them. Or if somebody's low health and you're full health, give them your food item. Or like if there's a food item next to you, call it out. Make sure people know where the food is and don't just take stuff that you don't need. Also, like if you're the weakest person on the team, don't take the strength potion. Just let the stronger people take it, and then you can have an easier time going through waves and waves of enemies. The strongest person, I think, should take the strength potion, and I think the person who's the lowest health should take the food items. And I think everybody should be accounted for, and you should know how your teammates are in their current situation. Like you should know if somebody's swarmed, you need to go know if they need help, or if they're in trouble, and you're gonna need a revive soon. You should start heading over there. Or if somebody's low health and you're like go into a supply box, go open the supply box and let them take your bread. It's just really simple things that you need to pay attention to that can really like help your team a lot and can increase your survivability tenfold. All right, I would like to thank everyone for watching, and I really hope these tips helped you as much as they did with me. Whenever I figured these out, it was like a game changer for me. I was just, I don't know, it's like I was a completely different player. You'd think I was a pro player at this game. But for real, I mean, these tips helped me out a lot throughout all of Apocalypse mode, and I hope it does the exact same for you. All right, see ya.